I'm desperate. I got to get these things. We have been waiting, as we've mentioned before, for weeks to get logs delivered. So last time I made a video, I talked about how frustrated I was and how I ended up going into the woods and cutting another tree. Got that tree felled and skidded one log out, and they called and said they're coming. So they drove up here yesterday to take a look at the roads. They said the roads look fine, and which I don't quite understand, but the roads look okay for them to bring a truck up, and so they're coming this morning. Meanwhile, we have determined that we really need an area to store all of our tools outside of the pole barn. So we've designed a 7-foot by 12-foot building that's just a little bitty shed, modeled after the cow shed that we built a few days back, or maybe a week back. And we milled some pine and built these walls. And the goal is that that will go up today. We're trying to think of a good place to put it. It's weird that you can live on 26.5 acres and still kind of wonder, like, where do we want to put that? Where's there room for that silly little tiny shed? But I think what we've decided is it's going to go right over here where those wheels are. There's like kind of a metal scrap pile, which was already a metal scrap pile when we bought the property, but we have added to it significantly with other things that we've torn down and collected. And we've used a lot of that stuff just for little projects here and there, cut something up or build a small tool or whatever we need. But that's going to move today. It's a pretty flat spot. And so I think basically from where that door is to where that stack of wood is, there's going to be a shelter. It's kind of been Gabriel's project, which is cool because he had the drawings that we used for the cow shelter, and he milled a log yesterday and did all the plans to figure out how much wood we needed. And out of one pretty small ponderosa pine log, we got all the wood we need for that shelter framing. We'll need to mill another log for the siding and the roof. But it's exciting. I mean, we'll see what it looks like here in a few hours. If the logs come, we'll probably stop everything, video that, and then switch over to milling more siding, because the pole barn has to be the number one priority. This is sort of something to keep us busy so we don't get too mad about waiting for logs. The truckload of logs did not come. And the next day, it did not come again. And that night, I got a call from the logger that said the truck driver broke his shoulder or something to that effect and can't deliver them. So he's trying to find another truck that can deliver them. If you've ever seen logs delivered and offloaded, it's either done by a crane at the sawmill or a crane that's built into the truck. The truck is called a self-loader, and there aren't very many of them. So if you're going to come to a place like this, where I don't have a crane, you have to hire a truck that has a self-loader. built-in crane. So we're trying to find another guy who will bring them. It's day, I don't even know, at least day 5 since we were first supposed to get them. Anyway, I'm getting very confused about what day it is. But meanwhile, we've made really good progress on our shed workshop. Not sure what we're going to call it, but we've got it almost completely sided. We've milled 4 logs, I think, to get it done. But that's all our wood. Nothing is off the shelf, so that feels good. And we're moving forward. The guys are moving the workbench from our shanty into the building, and then we'll finish siding it. I've just realized it's probably a bit confusing that we have wood that we're siding the sheds with, but not the wood that we're siding the pole barn with. The reason for that is they're 2 different species. I had made a decision early on that we would side the pole barn with red fir. And you could look at it and see it's pretty red. It's even pink when you first put it up, and it kind of turns more and more darker and red, and it does yellow out a little bit. The material we're using for the sheds is ponderosa pine, or called yellow pine. It's not as hard as the fir, and it's really probably won't last as long in the weather. So that's why we have plenty of logs to build up the sheds, but we do not have enough logs to finish the pole barn. It is frustrating, and it is a little confusing, because we have a glut of material in one case and a shortage of material in another case. That's where we are.
Coulson boy. Coulson, why are you sitting on that hay?
What are we doing, Micah?
Getting some logs.
Getting some logs. Today we're taking matters into our own hands. I'm not getting logs delivered. It's just taking too long, and they can't seem to find a suitable driver to get them on property. So I asked the logger, can I bring my trailer and just put as many logs on it as I can, which is probably a fraction of what I need. But we've got the trailer on. Yesterday we spent some time building a rack for it, and like a leveling gate to make sure we could put 20-foot logs on there. And we're going up a really bumpy road to this logging site, and I don't know if we're gonna get up there with this truck, and I don't know if we're gonna get back with a load of logs, but we're gonna try. Anyway, we've got logs cut, and I can pick them up with my own trailer if I take a few at a time. It's about a 2-hour round trip for me to get them. But yesterday we built this little rack for the tail end of the trailer and some racks up front here, so hopefully we can get, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 pounds on there today. We're meeting the logger here because I can't remember how to get into the property where they're cutting, so we're just waiting at a predetermined point for them to come and kind of drag us back. I'm very nervous about the road that's muddy, and it's, if I remember correctly, there's a pretty good terrain to get in and out of there. I do not have trailer brakes, and it's going to be a bit sketchy, but I'm desperate. I got to get these logs home and milled. My goal is to have us in the pole barn by Thanksgiving, which is a week from tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to work. It's an artificial deadline, but most importantly, we just got to get done. It's cold. It's getting colder by the day, and we got to get in there. So this is it. This is us going off rails a little bit and doing what we can to get the logs home. this hill to turn around. There's no way to go back. My trailer's off to one side. The truck is off the other side. This may have been a mistake. I don't have chains. I think these guys will help me, but oh man, I'm just freaking out. Okay, we're back. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We got there at 9, so that took a while. We got stuck, couldn't make it up a hill to even turn around to come back. So they threw a bulldozer on it and a chain, pulled me up the hill. I turned around, made a wrong turn, went up an even worse hill, had to back down it, walked the road a little bit and decided that I was on the right road. It didn't feel right, and said a prayer, hit the gas, and we got up and over that hill on our second attempt. So $384 and 2 years off my life, and we're home with not very many logs. It might be enough to do the last side of the pole barn, but probably not. That's frustrating. I won't do that again. I don't know what else to do besides measure carefully and make the absolute most out of these logs that I possibly can. I was going to try to make a dinosaur eat your head.
Oh, with the shadow?
Okay.